Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing something a bit different. We're going to be looking at my latest creation, which is this Havilland DH.84 Dragon. So let's have a look. So to start off with, you can see this looks relatively similar to the actual the Havilland DH.84 Dragon. The only really significant difference is the fact that you can't actually get the proper kind of semi-inverted spherical nose shape in game. So the front here, this had to do. And the original also only has a two bladed props, but I set them to 3 to be able to actually get the speed of the real de Havilland. And also it means that we can take off and land a lot easier. Actually be more fuel efficient for the speed. So yeah, just a few side notes. So we've actually got distances that this does actually, we do actually use this quite a bit. So we've got, it's quite a realistic system, well, sort of. Each engine has its own little maintenance hatch, as you can see. You can swing the propellers. And that is just like the real one. You know, the throttle's on the inside, but the actual start of the engine is on the outside by swinging the props. We've got a refueling connector, just a little bit of detailing. We've got our landing gear, our engines, which is 2 small engines hooked up to some gearboxes. So yeah, we've also got a lot of paint blocks on the sides, but yeah, that's yeah, so that's the main kind of part of the outside. Obviously a small spotlight, just like the real one. Yeah, lots of paint blocks. And XML windows. As well as micro. And so yeah, so I guess those windows there, they're XML edited. There's an XML edited window there, that's XML, and the one above that is also XML. If I go into photo mode, you can see it's almost like a 3x3x1 window. So this is all XML editing that I've done here. Got the Union Jack on the top, and yeah, so that's the actual outside, pretty much done. We go on to the inside of the plane. It's relatively detailed. I'm certainly not one of those people that's really good at interiors. I can do them, but not to a degree that some other people can, but it's good. It's probably the best interior I've done on a vehicle. So we've just got microcontrollers in the roof that actually do look like they're supposed to be there. Got just lighting, what was supposed to look like a bit of storage, just a bit of railing, storage or something or other, whatever you want it to be. We have got a little fire extinguisher. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 passenger seats. So that's pretty much the inside. Yeah, so yeah, if we sit in the cockpit, you can see that we have our cruise altitude, we have our engine stats, our relays, throttles, compass ball, we have our airspeed, a lot of data, switches, emergency lights, stuff like that, our altitude, our speed, vertical speeds, cruise altitude. We can increase and decrease our throttle when we have our relays. We have our gyro, and we have our wheel chokes. Okay. Okay, so for the starting procedure of this plane, make sure obviously there's nothing in front of you. You can turn it on a very tight turning radius, but I wouldn't recommend it because it's quite hard to turn. So once you hop in your chair inside the plane, turn on the relays and press 1 until your throttles are both sitting at about 33%. Make sure your wheel chokes are engaged, and that your prop pitch and your rear brake clamp are both at 0. Okay, make sure everything's all good. We can exit the plane. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to swing each propeller. We'll see this will build up. So there we go, there's our propeller started. Swing the other one. Both running. Let's open our door, hop back into the plane. We can use the handle, it's easy to use the chair. Hop in the pilot seat, disengage your wheel chokes. Increase your throttle to maybe about 40%. And use your left and right arrow keys. As you can see, the wheel at the back will turn. And use your up and down arrow keys for prop pitch and brakes. Now just taxi out with your prop pitch. It's sticky, so you don't have to hold it, obviously. When taxiing on the runway, if you want, you could increase the throttle. I'm just going to set it to about 50% throttle. So we've got our prop pitch up. We're not going to get enough speed that we fly yet, but we will get enough speed that we can go relatively quickly. Okay, so I'm just going to set my throttle back down to a third, which is kind of like the idle engine's throttle. Bring the prop pitch down, it's at 0. Let's taxi onto the runway, we're just rolling. Hold your down arrow, and that will engage your brakes. Okay, now press 4 to have your wheel chokes engaged. Rear brake clamp to 0, make sure this is at 0 as well. Make sure you don't have anything else on. Full throttle. Make sure both your engines are running. Fuel. As you can see, it doesn't actually use that much fuel even on full throttle. Press 4. Hold your up arrow until your prop pitch is at 100%. And boom shakalaka, you are off. It's about maybe 100 meters, 150 meters, 50 meters takeoff distance. So it's actually a really, really short takeoff. Now, a couple other things. Press 3 for your gyro or cruise, I guess. However, based off the way that the plane's engines are built, it will pitch up with the gyro. So you don't actually need it, because you will have to constantly adjust. It can be useful. Now, when in the air, you can decrease your throttle to 80%, and you will fly very, very nicely at about 50 knots, around then. If you want to absolutely fly, you will get up to about 70 knots, or just under. So 68 knots, 69, nice. Let's get 70 knots. Can go faster, but yeah. So, let's bring the throttle down. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to input a cruise altitude. Only really put in an altitude, as it says, only engage within 100 meters of the target. So, we're going to set a cruise altitude to 400. We're at that altitude. Engage our cruise altitude. It'll go up. Oh, you might want to stick your throttle up for something like that. And it will automatically pitch. Forgot to mention, and forgot to myself, when you're wanting to pitch up, engage full throttle, because a cruise throttle is really only meant for cruising. So, as you can see, you know, we're at a cruise throttle at the moment, so we're not using as much fuel, but we won't be able to pitch up as easily. You can still manually pitch up, but you will lose your airspeed. So if I disengage that, you'll see that our airspeed will drop very quickly, and we will get a stall, which is pretty much something which will engage. Whoa, okay. The stall will engage if you are under a certain speed and at a certain altitude. I will probably change that in a future update to this vehicle. But yeah. I wouldn't recommend having altitude hold on with the gyro, because the actual gyro itself kind of counteracts this and it just keeps on flying up, because gyros are a bit of an annoying thing when it comes to things like this. So we got our engines both idling. Actually, the temperature's always fine on the engine, doesn't matter if you run them at full blast, they will be fine. We have our cabin lights, so if we switch into nighttime, let's go into full nighttime. We have our cabin lights. We can hop out and walk around, so we've got our kind of yellowy cabin lights. We have our cockpit backlights. And we have our front spotlight. Okay, so there we go, guys. Obviously we have a release diesel connector and our distress beacon, which is our beacon there at the top. But other than that, yeah, that's so that's the de Havilland DH.84 that I made. I'll put a link to this on the workshop creation in the description. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.